In this video, we are going to be seeing the difference between the OLA and the ATHER. While talking about the front suspension, the OLA comes with the single shocks, whereas the ATHER comes with the telescopic dual shocks. The difference is that under high load, the OLA's single shock tends to break, which in return causes accidents, whereas the ATHER's dual shock suspensions do not have any issues as such. The second point would be on the drivability of these vehicles. As we are moving on from the petrol vehicles to the electric vehicles right now, it is a better adaptation process on the ATHER, whereas on the OLA, while riding, if you apply your brakes and give your accelerator again, the vehicle wouldn't respond for a second or two. The reason is that the motor cuts off, which in return would affect the driving style of the rider. The third point would be on the safety of the battery. The battery casing in the ATHER is made out of aluminum, whereas the OLA is made out of plastic, which actually explains that plastic is a bad conductor of heat. In case of the battery heating up in an OLA, there is no proper ventilation, which in return could cause more risks. Along with it, in case of an under chassis impact or let's say an accident, the ATHER's battery pack is much more safer as it has a much more stronger aluminum casing and side channels, whereas the OLA's battery pack is rested upon few tubings, which in return don't give much safety for the battery pack. If there is a puncture by under chassis impact or an accident, it could puncture the battery pack and cause a flame. The fourth point would be on the consistent drivability of these vehicles. The ATHER tends to give you a promised performance and range on their respective modes, whereas the OLA does not give a consistent performance. On hyper mode, if you drive it for more than 4 to 5 minutes, if the motor heats up, it automatically degrades to the lower mode. The fifth point would be on uphill performance. The ATHER has proven multiple times on hill climb challenges, whereas the OLA on the other hand doesn't perform so. Even though they claim 115 km per hour top speed, on practicality it doesn't perform well on slopes or inclination. The sixth point would be on the practicality front. The ATHER has a 22-liter boot space, and with a full-size helmet, it can close its seats without any problems. Whereas in an OLA, even though they claim to have a larger boot space, it doesn't close.